In the trucking world, there's this one number that quietly controls almost everything. We're talking about your insurance rates, your reputation with shippers, even how often you get pulled over for an inspection. It's your CSA score, and honestly, understanding it is absolutely critical for your entire business. And that quote, it just hits the nail on the head, right? This number is a huge deal, but it's wrapped up in so much confusion. Most folks don't really get how it works, what it's truly measuring, or most importantly, how to fix it when it starts creeping up. And believe me, that confusion costs you real money. I'm talking higher insurance premiums, losing out on contracts because shippers are looking at your safety record, and getting some, let's say, unwanted attention directly from the FMCSA. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain and decode this high-stakes number for you. All right, so first things first, let's blow up this single biggest myth about what a CSA score actually is. Because once you get this one thing right, it completely changes how you think about improving it. Okay, this is probably the most important slide we're going to look at. On the left is what most people think it is, a grade, like in school, where 100 is great. But that's totally wrong. What it really is on the right is a percentile rank. So think of it like golf. The lower your score, the better. A score of 70 doesn't mean you got a C. It means you're performing worse than 70% of fleets just like yours. A perfect score is 0. So ruler 1, lower is better. So how does the FMCSA measure all this stuff? Well, they track your performance across 7 different categories. They call them the basics, which is short for Behavior Analysis and Safety Improvement Categories. Let's take a quick look at what they are. So here they are. Now you'll see some are marked public, and that's a big deal. Those are the scores your customers, your insurance company, everyone can see. The other 2 are kept private between you and law enforcement. And as you can see, each one tracks a really specific part of your operation. Everything from speeding tickets to vehicle maintenance. Okay, so how does a single violation, like a busted taillight, turn into one of these big, scary percentile scores? The math can seem a little intimidating, but trust me, understanding the basics of it is the key to figuring out what to fix first. It basically breaks down into 4 simple steps. First, every possible violation gets assigned points from 1 to 10 based on how serious it is. Then, and this is super important, those points get multiplied by a time weight. We'll get to that in a second. Step 3 is just a small rule. No single inspection can give you more than 30 points before that time multiplier kicks in. And finally, your grand total is compared to other fleets, and that's how you get your final percentile rank. And this is where that time weight thing gets real. Look at this. Any violation you got in the last 6 months, the points are tripled. That means a single 10-point violation is hammering your score with 30 points. It's a huge deal. After a year, it's doubled. Then, after 2 full years, poof, it disappears completely. This is exactly why a few clean inspections can have such a dramatic and fast impact on improving your score. Okay, so what actually happens if these scores get, well, too high? There are very specific lines in the sand, and once you cross them, you land squarely on the FMCSA's radar for what they call intervention. And here are those lines. We're looking at the danger zones. For most carriers, if your unsafe driving score hits the 65th percentile, you've crossed that threshold. For vehicle maintenance, it's 80%. And this isn't just about getting a bad report card. Crossing these lines is a direct trigger for official action from the feds. And that official action, it doesn't just happen all at once. It's a ladder. It starts with simple warning letters and your fleet getting flagged for more roadside inspections. If things don't get better, it escalates to a full-blown investigation, either over the phone or with an agent showing up at your door. And in the worst-case scenario, it can lead to an operations out-of-service order. And yes, that is exactly what it sounds like. They shut you down. All right, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about how to fix it. How do you actually get in there, take control, and start bringing these scores down? The trick is to be strategic, not just to react when something bad happens. Want to know the easiest way to make a big impact on your vehicle maintenance score? Check this out. Almost half of all violations in this category come from just 3 simple things: brakes, lights, and tires. These are all things a solid pre-trip inspection should catch. Just by hammering this home with your drivers, you can make a massive dent in that score. It's a huge win. And guess what? It's the exact same story for unsafe driving. You don't have to fix everything at once. Focus on the big stuff, the violations that carry the most points. Texting while driving or going more than 10 miles an hour over the speed limit, those are both maximum 10-point violations. Coaching your drivers specifically on these high-impact behaviors is, by far, the fastest way to pull that score down. But what happens if the inspector gets it wrong? I mean, it happens, right? The data on your record isn't always perfect. That's where a system called DataQs comes in. It's the official way you can challenge errors. So if a crash wasn't your fault or a violation was just written up incorrectly, you can submit a review. And here's a pro tip. Having dashcam video dramatically, and I mean dramatically, increases your odds of winning that challenge. Okay, one last thing, and this is a big one. It's happening right now, and it's catching a lot of fleets by surprise. It has to do with your electronic logging devices, your ELDs. So, the FMCSA has really been cracking down on ELD providers that aren't compliant. And their rule on this is incredibly simple and, frankly, brutal. If your ELD provider gets its registration revoked by the FMCSA, then using that device is treated exactly the same as having no logbook at all. And in case you think this is some small fringe issue, it's not. Over the last couple of years, the FMCSA has kicked more than 25 different ELD devices off its approved list. That's a huge number of carriers who might be driving around right now completely out of compliance without even realizing it. Getting pulled over and cited for using one of these revoked ELDs will hit you with a 5 or 7 point violation in your hours of service score. Now, remember that 3x multiplier we talked about? Just a couple of these violations across your fleet can be enough to shove you right over that 65% intervention threshold in a matter of weeks. The damage compounds incredibly fast. So when you boil it all down, improving your CSA score really comes down to pulling 3 main levers. Number 1, get ahead of the problem. Eliminate those high-point violations, the speeding, the bad brakes, before an inspection ever happens. Number 2, actively go for clean inspections. Every time a driver passes one, it helps your percentile. And number 3, use that DataQs system to fight and fix any mistakes on your record. Your score is not set in stone. It's a living, breathing number that gets updated every single month. It's a direct reflection of what you're doing right now. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What's one thing you can do this week, right now, to start moving that number down? Are you going to check your ELD status, maybe review your top violations, or schedule a quick coaching session with a driver? What's that one action going to be?